Okay guys, so I just wanted to come to you again in another video and share something that I read here recently, and hopefully it'll help you out. So the other day, me and my dad, we were riding down the road in the car and we heard a song. I think it come across the radio. It was an old gospel song, and it was talking about, in Mark chapter 5, we have the story of the woman who was sick, and she touched Jesus's clothes and was made whole because of her faith. And so there was an old gospel song that we heard about that, and so we got to talking about it and said, man, that's a really good story in the Bible. And so it got me to thinking about this story, and so when I got home, I looked it up, and in my Bible, and reading it for myself and just going over it again and seeing what all was in there. And there's a lot in here that truly helped me out. So I wanted to make this video for you guys today, and hopefully this will help you. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and read it. Mark chapter 5 verses 25 through 34. And so if you have a Bible with you, follow along. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start. Starting in verse 25. And a certain woman which had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse. When she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind, and touched his garment. For she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned him about in the press, and said, who touched my clothes? And in verse 31 he says, and his disciples said unto him, thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? And he looked round about to see her that had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him, and told him all the truth. And he said unto her, daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace, and be whole of thy plague. And so that is Mark chapter 5, verse 25 through 34. And that, I'm going to stop right there. That's the story. You can find this also in Matthew and Luke, but this is just Mark's, this is his view from it. And so we're going to stop right there and get right into it. The first thing that you notice in chapter 5, verse 25, is that he says this woman had this issue, this plague, this disease, whatever it was. She's been dealing with it for a long time. She's had this going on for 12 years now. And it goes on that she suffered many things. And she has suffered, many things of many physicians. In verse 26. And had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered. Doesn't that sound a lot like what we have in America today? We have so many people that are looking for a way out. They're looking for help. They're looking for a healing. But they're going and looking in all the wrong places. They're looking to these people who say that they have the power to heal people, and see sick people healed, and people saved, and all these things. But it says this woman spent all of her money. She searched in all of the places. She went to many physicians. But she wasn't better. She grew worse. She's worse off now than what she was before. But in verse 27, when she had heard of Jesus. And see, that's the key right there. We have so many people that are looking for help out there. And so, if you're, just on a side note, if you're a preacher, you're wanting to get involved, look in the world that we live in. We live in a messed up world. We live in a messed up country. There's people looking for help out there, just like this woman, searching everywhere she can, spending all of her money, but she's not getting better, she's getting worse. But when she had heard of Jesus, she comes in, it says came in the press behind. Press is the crowd. So she comes in the crowd behind of Jesus and touched his clothes. Because she said, if I can just touch his clothes, I'll be made whole. She's heard of this man named Jesus Christ, the Son of God. He's come to this world. He healed the sick. He turned water into wine. He made blind people see. He raised people from the dead. He's done all these miracles. And he come to save people from their sin. To make a way for people to escape this day coming called Judgment Day. And so she's heard of this man. And she says, I need to at least touch his clothes. She had faith that if she could at least touch him, she would be healed. She's tried all these different places, but when she heard of Jesus Christ, the true physician, the true healer, she said, if I can at least touch him, I'll be made whole. And because of her faith, she was healed. And he goes on, in verse 29 it says, and straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. Immediately, when she touched his clothes, she felt within herself that she had been healed. The work had been done. The miracle was performed in her. And it was because of her faith. It was because that she truly believed that she could be healed. And she went to the right person. She come to Jesus Christ. And he says she was immediately healed. In verse 30, and Jesus immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him. He knew that something has already happened. That somebody reached out in faith and touched his clothes. Because he said, power, virtue has left me. He knows that a work has already been done. That somebody's been healed. And you have his disciples in verse 31. They're sitting here looking around. They're in this massive crowd because it says the woman comes in from behind and touched his clothes. They're in this massive crowd. And so the disciples are looking and they're like, Lord, we're in this massive crowd here. All these people rushing around us. And you want to know who touched you? But Jesus Christ knew, because power had left his body. Virtue had left him. So he knows that something has been done. And he looked for her, because he knows that she was healed. He looked in the crowd looking for her. In verse 33, but the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him and told him all the truth. We'll stop right there for a second. This woman who has been searching all this time, 12 years, she's been going through this plague, this issue of blood. She's been searching and looking for a healing. She's come to all these doctors, these physicians. She's spent all of her money and she's getting nowhere. And she comes to Jesus and tells him what all is going on. You could picture it now of her saying, Lord, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm dealing with. But Lord, I just need to be healed. Lord, I just need to be saved. And because of her faith and her telling the truth, in verse 34 he says, and he said unto her, daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace and be whole of thy plague. And again, that's Mark chapter 5, 25 through 34 if you'd like to read it afterwards. But this right here is a story that stuck out to me. And it's because of faith. It's because she looked in the right place when she found Jesus. And we've heard it said, Jesus the great physician. That's the truth here today. Jesus Christ is the only one that can heal you, that can save you, that can set you free. That's what he came to do. To seek and to save that which is lost. And so I want to make this video today. If you're somebody like this woman who's searching for a way out, you're looking for a healing, you're looking to be set free, it's only through the blood of Jesus Christ that you can be saved, that you can be made a new creature. All these other people, it's not going to work. This woman here in the Bible is an example. She went to all the physicians. She spent all of her money, and she's not better. She's getting worse. I tell you, it was quite a few years ago, my dad was out preaching, and there was a so-called preacher, pastor, that came to town, and he says, you know, he can heal people, he can perform all these miracles and things, he can punch people, and they're healed, kick people, you know, and they can walk again, all these different things. And we knew it was all for show. He's just there to get people's money. And so my dad goes there to preach against it, to expose the person. And they're at this stadium, like this big arena. And all these people, they're coming in because they want that healing, buying tickets, giving him all their money. And they're not even going to get healed. They're not going to get any better. But yet they're looking for a healing. They're looking to be set free. They're like this woman here. They're looking in the wrong place. And so as he's out there preaching, there's this van pulls up, and this woman rolls this wheelchair out. And it's her son in this wheelchair. And it's got the whole, you know, the tubes and IVs all on it, and the monitors and all these different things, because this young man was about to die. Her son was about to die. And she rolls him, she gets him out of the van, and she rolls him up to that arena trying to get through that front door because she wants him to be healed. She heard this man can do it, so she's coming to get him healed. And they roll him up to the door, and the security guard, he stops her at the front door, and he says, you know, the place is packed. You can't get in here. He said the show has already started. And they shut the door in her face. But the show had already started. She's looking for a healing for her son. She spent all this money to get him there, gets him to the front door, and she can't get in because it's a show. It's fake. It's a fraud. It's not true. These people don't have the power. And so this woman, she's here now, and she's crying because she can't have her son healed. She's worse off now, just like this woman, than she was before. She's nothing better. She spent all of her money. And that's just one example. That's been years ago. This sort of thing happens to people every day. You're looking to be set free from sin. You're looking to be healed, but you're looking in the wrong places. If it is not Jesus Christ, it's not going to happen. You have to come to Jesus Christ. You have to be honest and say, God, I've sinned against you. Lord, I've offended you. If you want to be set free from your sin, from your addictions, whatever it may be, you have to come to Jesus Christ and beg Him for forgiveness. The Bible says, for whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. If you will call on His name in faith, like this woman here, it says, Jesus said to her in verse 34, daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. She had faith that if she could at least touch His clothes, she would be healed. And it happened. She knew that that's where it was at. Jesus was the real deal. He is the Son of God. And you have to have that faith today. If you're watching this video and you're looking for a way out, you're looking for a way of escape, you're looking for help, you're looking to be set free from addiction, whatever it may be, Jesus Christ is the one. But you have to reach out in faith. You have to grab hold. Jesus Christ is in the same places He's always been. He's still saving people. That's what He come to do. And He's coming back. He's coming back to take the people that are ready to be with Him. And He's going to judge those that aren't ready. Jesus Christ is saving people today, yesterday, and that just like here in this chapter, the people all around him, but she reached out in faith and was healed. It was because of her faith, it was because of her honesty that she was healed. And people, let this be a lesson to you. You need to reach out in faith to Jesus Christ and ask God for forgiveness. Ask God to set you free from your sin. And if you will, He'll do it. Jesus Christ can change your life. He can make you a new creature. So if you're watching this and you're looking for a way of escape, Jesus is the answer. And this is just, one of many miracles that Jesus Christ performed. And this one is because of faith. She reached out in faith and it became possible. It happened. Her issue of blood was no longer an issue. 12 years, she's healed now. She's made whole. She goes in peace. There is no peace for the wicked. So if you want peace in your life, if you want to be healed today, if you want to have Jesus Christ, you have to reach out in faith. So I hope this video helps you out. I hope this encourages you to go out, share your faith. If you're looking for help, Jesus is the answer. I just wanted to share this with you today. This is something that helped me out. It encouraged me, and I hope it does the same for you. And so until next time, guys, we'll see you in the next video.